The eyes of the entire world are currently fixed upon the vast and dazzling expanse of North America, where an unprecedented celebration of human connection, athletic excellence, and cultural unity has finally begun to unfold. For months, anticipation has been building across continents, drawing together millions of people from different walks of life, all eager to witness a historic milestone in the world of modern entertainment and global gathering. The grandest stage ever constructed is now a reality, spanning three massive nations that have combined their unique energies to host a truly monumental event. Cities from the sun-drenched coastlines of California to the high-altitude valleys of Mexico and the vast, scenic landscapes of Canada are buzzing with an electric atmosphere that only comes around once in a generation. Before a single ball was kicked, before the ultimate drama of competition could even take shape on the pristine grass, the world required a spark to ignite this collective journey. It required an opening spectacle that would capture the imagination of billions watching from their living rooms, crowded plazas, and stadium seats. The responsibility of setting the tone for such a colossal gathering is a weight that very few individuals on this planet can carry, as it demands not just immense talent, but an innate understanding of how to move the human spirit on a universal scale. As the hours ticked down to the official commencement, speculation reached a fever pitch regarding how each host nation would choose to present its own distinct soul to the global audience. Rumors circulated, fan bases clashed in passionate debates online, and the media scrutinized every single detail of the upcoming ceremonies, turning the pre-tournament festivities into a high-stakes drama of their own. It is in these rare, defining moments of pop culture history that icons are truly tested, and where the boundaries between music, personal evolution, and global community begin to blur in the most spectacular fashion imaginable. If you want to stay completely up-to-date with every major twist, every breathtaking performance, and all the behind-the-scenes secrets of this historic global tournament, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. Tius Luka 2. To truly understand the gravity of the spectacle that recently gripped the city of Los Angeles, one must look at the meticulously planned tapestry of the entire opening schedule. This year, the traditional format was beautifully shattered, replaced instead by a geographically staggered triad of opening ceremonies, each designed to reflect the unique cultural fabric of the respective host nations. The grand journey actually initiated its rhythm just a day prior in the historic heart of Mexico City, where the iconic stadium became a boiling pot of rhythm and passion, headlined by the legendary Shakira. Her performance set a dizzying standard, infusing the air with unmistakable Latin energy and reminding everyone of her timeless ability to command a global football audience. As the momentum surged northward, the torch of celebration was gracefully passed to Canada on Friday afternoon, where a completely different yet equally mesmerizing vibe took over. In Toronto, the legendary Alanis Morissette and the smooth, charismatic Michael Bublé led a star-studded cast that brought a sense of soulful sophistication and rich musical heritage to the Canadian portion of the festivities. The consecutive nature of these events created a growing sense of momentum, an artistic wave rolling across the continent that seemed to intensify with every passing hour. By the time the sun began to lower itself over the Pacific horizon, all eyes inevitably turned to the entertainment capital of the world, where the final and most anticipated segment of this continental opening ceremony was set to take place. SoFi Stadium, a marvel of modern architecture nestled in the heart of the Los Angeles area, stood ready as a gleaming coliseum of glass and steel, prepared to welcome a crowd that included Hollywood royalty, international dignitaries, and tens of thousands of screaming fans. Tius Luka 3. The air inside the stadium was thick with tension and excitement as the final countdown began for the United States to make its grand artistic statement. The American introduction was designed to be an absolute powerhouse of contemporary music, a vivid reflection of the country's dominant influence on global pop culture and its ability to reinvent spectacle on a massive scale. To achieve this, a carefully curated lineup of global superstars was assembled to share the massive, state-of-the-art stage, creating a mosaic of modern sounds that crossed musical genres and national borders. Among the highly anticipated performers who lent their immense star power to the evening were the sensational Tyla and the radiant Anitta, each bringing their own distinct international flair to the stadium floor. The inclusion of these contemporary powerhouses ensured that the ceremony felt thoroughly modern, vibrant, and reflective of a globalized musical landscape where different rhythms blend together seamlessly. Yet, even among such an elite gathering of musical heavyweights, The atmosphere demanded a true anchor, a definitive headliner who could command the absolute center of attention and channel the immense energy of a hometown crowd. The choice fell upon a legendary pop icon who has spent nearly 2 decades defining the very nature of stadium-level anthems and visual storytelling. Born and raised in the Golden State of California, this artist was not merely stepping onto a stage. She was returning to her home turf to fulfill a monumental destiny in front of a worldwide audience estimated to be in the hundreds of millions. World Soccer Talk. Show 3. As the stadium lights finally plunged into darkness, a collective roar went through the crowd, signaling the arrival of Katy Perry, who kicked off the United States portion of the tournament with an absolute bang. Emerging into the brilliant spotlight, she instantly captivated the stadium, bringing an overwhelming surge of pure energy and theatrical brilliance that seemed to reverberate through the very foundations of the venue. For this historic appearance, her visual presentation was nothing short of a masterpiece, carefully chosen to honor the very essence of the city she was performing in. Perry stepped out wearing a jaw-dropping silver Stella McCartney dress from the Autumn-Winter 26 ready-to-wear collection. The floor-length gown was an absolute triumph of avant-garde design, featuring a highly exaggerated, sculpted waistline that created a dramatic silhouette against the massive backdrop of the stadium. What truly caught the eyes of fashion critics and fans alike was the unique construction of the garment, which appeared to be meticulously crafted from long, shimmering strands of tinsel. This brilliant choice of material was immediately interpreted by onlookers as a beautiful, glittering nod to Tinseltown itself, the historic home of this year's American competition. Every movement she made on stage caused the dress to catch the light, creating a dazzling illusion of movement and sparkle that perfectly mirrored the high-stakes glamour of Hollywood. With her signature stage presence firing on all cylinders, she prepared to deliver a performance that would not only showcase her musical evolution, but would also reveal a deeply personal narrative that had been years in the making, leaving the audience completely spellbound as the first notes began to echo. The roaring crowd inside SoFi Stadium held its breath as Katy Perry took center stage, completely owning the spotlight in her shimmering silver gown. The sheer scale of the opening ceremony had already pushed the audience's excitement to an absolute fever pitch, but what happened next elevated the performance from a massive pop spectacle into a deeply moving human narrative. While the world knew her for her chart-topping stadium anthems and larger-than-life visual productions, Perry chose this specific global moment to unveil a profound artistic collaboration that had been quietly developing behind the scenes for half a decade. Instead of standing alone under the bright lights as the sole focus of the multinational broadcast, she decided to share the ultimate worldwide stage with an incredibly special guest, whose voice carried a magic all its own. Just 24 hours before stepping out onto the immaculate grass of the stadium, Perry had dropped a massive hint to her followers across the globe, sharing an emotional video on her official TikTok account that introduced the world to a young boy named Tius. In the caption of that viral clip, which rapidly gathered millions of views and sparked intense curiosity ahead of Friday night, she wrote with immense pride that the beautiful, innocent little voice everyone was hearing belonged to this very child. The background behind this musical union turned out to be an extraordinary journey of artistic discovery and patience, stretching across multiple continents and years of creative evolution. As the melodic structure of her new song titled Wonder began to reverberate through the high-tech sound system of the arena, the true depth of the story began to unravel before the astonished eyes of the audience. The track, which serves as a definitive centerpiece of her 24 album titled 143, possessed an origin story that perfectly encapsulated the theme of global connection. Perry explained to her fans that young Tius had originally recorded his vocal contribution to the song all the way back in 2021, when he was just a 5-year-old child singing from his heart in Norway. For 2 years, that pure vocal track remained a hidden gem waiting for the perfect creative catalyst, which finally arrived in 23 when Perry first heard the recording and felt an immediate, overwhelming wave of artistic inspiration. Moving deeply by the raw, angelic quality of the child's voice, she was inspired to write the verses for Wonder, building an entire musical sanctuary around those original notes and ultimately cementing it as one of the most meaningful additions to her highly anticipated 6th studio album. Now, in the summer of 26, Tius had grown into a bright 10-year-old boy, and he had flown all the way to Los Angeles from his Scandinavian home for the sole purpose of standing shoulder to shoulder with one of the biggest pop icons on Earth to deliver this anthem of unity on Friday night at the opening ceremony. The live performance of the song became an instant masterpiece of tension and release, as the young boy's clear, resonant voice blended seamlessly with Perry's powerful live vocals, creating a tangible sense of emotional gravity that left many in the stadium visibly moved beyond the immediate emotional impact of this unexpected duet. The sheer complexity and grandeur of the production added layers of dramatic tension to the entire evening. The stage itself was a marvel of modern engineering, transforming continuously beneath the feet of the performers to display stunning visual landscapes that mirrored the vast geographies of the three host nations. As Perry and Tius moved gracefully across the performance area, the silver strands of her Stella McCartney dress seemed to catch every flashing strobe and laser, making her look like a celestial guide orchestrating a grand sonic journey. The choreographic elements surrounding them were equally massive, involving hundreds of synchronized dancers whose movements symbolized the breaking down of borders and the coming together of diverse cultures under the universal banner of celebration. Every beat of the drum resonated deep within the chests of the spectators, building a relentless momentum that kept the entire stadium on the absolute edge of their seats. This was not merely an entertainment set. It was a high-stakes cultural statement, executed flawlessly under the scrutiny of an international broadcast where even the slightest misstep would be analyzed by millions. The brilliant juxtaposition of a seasoned pop superstar operating at the absolute peak of her performance powers alongside a 10-year-old boy making his global debut created a captivating narrative arc that kept viewers thoroughly locked in, cementing the opening ceremony as an unforgettable triumph of art and human spirit. While the musical performance was unfolding on the stadium floor, another layer of intense public fascination hovered over the pop star, stemming from her high-profile personal life, which had undergone a fascinating transformation over the past several months. The public's attention was not only focused on her musical prowess, but also on her high-profile relationship with the former Canadian Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, a romance that had officially captured the world's imagination when they first went public in December. Since entering this new chapter of her life, a noticeable shift had occurred in the singer's public persona and aesthetic choices, which became a topic of endless discussion among fashion critics and cultural commentators alike. The vibrant, often eccentric, and boundary-pushing wardrobe choices that defined her iconic teenage dream era had gradually given way to a decidedly more subdued, sophisticated, and polished style, particularly when she attended formal public gatherings and high-stakes social events. This stylistic evolution was seen by many as a graceful adaptation to her new reality, balancing her identity as a global entertainment force with the dignified atmosphere of her partner's world. Yet, when the lights dimmed at SoFi Stadium on Friday night, Perry proved that her innate pop star essence remained completely intact, brilliantly reclaiming her theatrical roots by stepping out in that avant-garde, tinsel-inspired silver masterpiece that perfectly bridged the gap between high-fashion sophistication and classic Hollywood showmanship. The couple had made their highly anticipated, official red carpet debut just days prior to the opening ceremony, sending the media into an absolute frenzy during the Tribeca Film Festival. Trudeau had proudly accompanied the pop star to the grand premiere of her brand new concert movie titled Katy Perry, the Lifetime's tour Live from Paris, signaling his complete support for her thriving artistic career. Standing before a massive wall of flashing cameras, the pair made no effort to hide their deep affection for one another, completely discarding the typical rigid formalities often associated with public figures of such immense stature. They were remarkably open and warm, displaying a continuous stream of genuine affection for the cameras, which captured them sharing intimate whispers, smiles, and warm hugs throughout the high-profile viewing of the documentary film. Having been together for nearly a full year, their bond appeared incredibly strong, radiating a sense of mutual respect and happiness that resonated deeply with fans who have followed Perry's long journey through the turbulent waters of fame and romance. As the tournament kicks into high gear across 3 massive countries, a playful sense of intrigue remains as to which team the proud California native will ultimately root for, especially given her deep personal ties to the true North up in Canada, adding a delightful ongoing storyline to an event that has only just begun to reveal its many wonders. As the last echoing chords of wonder gradually faded into the crisp night air of Los Angeles, the true significance of this monumental opening ceremony began to settle over the global audience, leaving an indelible mark on the history of modern entertainment. This spectacular evening was far more than a showcase of star-studded musical numbers and eye-catching fashion. It represented the beautiful culmination of individual journeys that crossed oceans, generations, and decades of personal evolution. At the center of this triumph stands Katy Perry herself, a proud California native whose artistic trajectory has brought her full circle back to her home state to deliver what many are already calling one of the most defining performances of her illustrious career. Her journey from a young, aspiring singer-acoustic artist in Santa Barbara to a global pop juggernaut commanding a stadium of tens of thousands has been a masterclass in resilience, reinvention, and the rare ability to tap into the universal heartbeat of the public. By choosing to share this massive, high-stakes global milestone with young Tius, she did not merely put on a show, she actively demonstrated the profound power of music to act as a bridge across time and space, elevating an innocent vocal track recorded by a 5-year-old boy in a remote corner of Norway into a timeless anthem celebrated by hundreds of millions of people around the world. For young Tius, this weekend in Southern California will undoubtedly remain a surreal core memory that will shape the rest of his life, symbolizing the absolute pinnacle of an extraordinary 5-year creative odyssey. His incredible journey from recording a simple, pure vocal line in 21 to flying across the Atlantic Ocean to stand side by side with an international pop icon on the world's grandest stage serves as a powerful reminder of how art can open doors to unimaginable realities. The immense courage and poise displayed by the 10-year-old Norwegian boy as he looked out into the vast, roaring sea of fans inside the state-of-the-art arena was nothing short of miraculous, earning him the deep respect of seasoned performers and viewers worldwide. This collaboration beautifully mirrored the very core values of the tournament itself, an event fundamentally rooted in the idea of bringing different nations, cultures, and generations together in harmony. As the young boy's voice soared up into the California sky, it became a living symbol of hope, innocence, and global unity, proving that the most profound connections often arise from the most unexpected, quiet beginnings. Far away from the bright lights and flashing cameras of Hollywood fame, the staggering success of the United States opening segment also shone a brilliant light on the incredible group of supporting artists who helped elevate the entire evening into a multicultural masterpiece. Icons like Tyla and Anitta brought their own vibrant, distinct energies to the stadium floor, infusing the production with a rich, globalized soundscape that perfectly reflected the modern musical landscape. Their presence emphasized that this tournament belongs to the entire world, creating a beautiful mosaic of rhythms and styles that seamlessly bridge the gap between different continents and musical traditions. Furthermore, when viewed as part of the broader three-nation opening tapestry, the Los Angeles ceremony perfectly complemented the passionate rhythmic explosion led by Shakira in Mexico City, as well as the soulful, sophisticated performances delivered by Alanis Morissette and Michael Bublé in Canada. Together, these three distinct celebrations formed a unified, continental welcome, setting a breathtakingly high standard for artistry and production value that will be remembered for decades to come, while perfectly preparing the global audience for the intense drama and athletic excellence that is about to unfold on the pitch. Meanwhile, the fascinating convergence of pop culture and high-profile romance continues to add an extra layer of undeniable glamour and intrigue to the ongoing festivities. The public's fascination with Katy Perry's relationship with former Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has only intensified following their highly affectionate, high-profile appearances together throughout the week. Their remarkably candid, warm demeanor at the Tribeca Film Festival premiere of her concert film, Katy Perry, The Lifetime's Tour, Live from Paris, gave fans a rare, genuine glimpse into a mature, supportive partnership built on mutual admiration and shared happiness. As Perry gracefully navigates this exciting new chapter of her personal life and career, her style choices continue to reflect a beautiful balance between sophisticated, dignified elegance and the timeless, theatrical showmanship that made her a global icon in the first place. With her deep personal ties now stretching all the way from her sunny roots in California to the vast, scenic landscapes of Canada, sports fans and pop culture enthusiasts alike are left with a delightful, lingering question regarding which North American team she will ultimately choose to cheer for as the intense athletic competition progresses through the various host cities. Ultimately, this unforgettable opening night at SoFi Stadium has set a truly magnificent tone for the entire tournament, reminding humanity of the incredible magic that happens when sports, art, and human stories collide on a global scale. The electric energy generated by Katy Perry, young Tius, and the stellar lineup of international superstars has ignited a spark that will continue to burn brightly across 3 nations for the next several weeks. As the world transitions from the dazzling spectacle of the opening ceremonies to the fierce dramatic battles of the actual sporting competition, the profound messages of unity, perseverance, and artistic connection will continue to resonate deeply with everyone who witnessed this historic night. The grand stage has been set, the heroes have been introduced, and the collective journey of billions of people has officially begun, bound together by the shared memory of an evening when a silver-clad pop star and a brave young boy from Norway made the entire world stop, listen, and wonder at the beautiful possibilities of human connection.